is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Board Games Unlocked, and we're doing a no run-through review for the newest Wingspan expansion, Oceania, which was an expansion that not drastically, changed the game. Because you had the Europe expansion, which was just a smaller box, like it just basically added more birds. This one actually came with a new game mechanic, which I actually very much enjoyed in terms of like what it did, how the expansion, in my opinion, brought just enough without radically changing the whole game. Where you don't have to sit there and be like, oh god, now I have to learn this whole new game because of this expansion. It's just like, oh, here's a little bit more to an already, in my opinion, one of Stonemaier's best games, which is Wingspan. What do you guys think of the Oceania expansion?
I liked it. Like these birds. I like what it added. I like the little nectar. I like it.
Yeah? Brett?
So, for the same reasons, I'm sort of between... I'm less excited about it.
Yeah?
But I have the same thing to say. It doesn't fundamentally change anything. It just adds a little bit more. Which in my mind is more of a, is there really a point to it? Unless you've played enough Wingspan that you're kind of tired of it and you're looking for something new.
Yeah.
That's not to say anything about the value, because I don't know about the cost. But
Sure.
It is to say that, again, it's just a small wrinkle. It's not a change. It's not just additional cards, but it's not, we have to strategize completely differently.
Yeah.
So what it adds is totally fine.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a standard expansion in the sense, it just adds a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, I think at this point with Wingspan, what everyone is wanting is more of just the different continental birds. Like, more birds.
And this definitely has them.
Yeah, it comes with a significant amount of birds, and if I'm not mistaken, I'd have to look through the Europe and base game. I don't remember a lot of birds having that game end ability. I think the game end is something that's new to this expansion.
Potentially.
Which I actually enjoy. I felt that there was because you have the different types of ways to score, round points, depending on how you're playing. If you want to go the competitive, whoever has the most of something, they get the more points, or just everyone, it's just max out on the different criteria. But I do enjoy the game end because that can end up being like a sneaky little thing, like where it's like, oh, haha, I actually wasn't getting any eggs, but this one lets me, put 4 down, which is 4 points. So I enjoy that. But obviously the biggest thing that's coming from this is the nectar. Did you guys like the nectar? Did you like the extra wild, the resource mitigation?
Yeah, because that's always something that's always just hard with this game, is because one, the resources are random. Someone might take the resource you'd need. There's only 5 dice, which means they get refreshed faster. But then if they just get refreshed again, and you're like, oh, cool, it's all worms. Like,
yeah,
nice. Yeah, I liked it. I liked having that
on the other hand,
aspect.
Yeah, but on the other hand, you had a power that made us want to avoid collecting nectar,
right?
Because you got some every time we got some. That's a fun thing to throw in the game.
Yeah.
Right, and that came from the Europe expansion. The abilities that affected other players, because in the base game of Wingspan there was almost no player interaction besides drafting the dice, and I always enjoyed that. Like, actually, funny enough, 3 of my birds ended up being, when another person gains nectar, I gain nectar. When another person lays eggs, I lay an egg. When another person gains food, I gain food.
And you happen to get all of those.
I know, right? They ended up doing nothing for me. In terms, but I always had nectar, which was nice because it's pretty cool. Once again, another game end way to score points, but not enough that it's going to drastically change it. Right. And it's a slight little competition where it's like, oh man, okay, yeah, he's paying for that with nectar. Ooh, how many does he have over there? Yeah. Because for each of the different rows, each time you spend nectar to do an ability or to pay for the bird, it goes over, and whoever has the most there gets 5 points. Yeah. So at most, you'll get 15. Which is still, and then second most gets 2.
Yeah, but you can also see, like, I looked over at your stack and I went, I'm not even gonna try for those.
Right. Yeah, I was trying to compete, and it actually kind of made it a little bit more difficult because I was trying to compete and get a queen sweep on all of them, and I got 2 of them, but I couldn't find because the only way to get nectar is either through specific bird abilities or through the dice, and it's like, well, if there's nothing there, crap. And you also need to find, I needed to find like another grasslands bird. And okay, I'm like, crap, they're not coming out. So to actually try and get a majority is player interaction that's not cutthroat. Which I enjoy, because I don't think this game needs any cutthroat in it. It would be stupid.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing where it's like, oh, kill another player's bird or take their bird or shit like that, which would just be obscenely just annoying.
Yeah.
But I mean, in terms of like,
Oh, and the fact that you have to discard all of your unused
yes.
at the end of each round.
yes,
So you can't hoard them all indefinitely.
exactly, and be like, oh, all my that's
a nice mechanic to offset the
right,
value of them.
right. Because if I had this ability and I would just have a stack of, let's say they didn't discard, I would be paying for every bird with all the wilds, because nectars are wilds. So it's like, oh,
You get much larger stacks.
exactly. So yeah, that was probably a reason why they put that in for those specific abilities. Because there were times where I had like 4 or 5 by the end of the round, and they just go away.
Yep.
You don't retain one. It's
No
just,
bonuses, no points, or at all.
yep, no nothing, which is actually pretty interesting. So overall, the other thing is, I feel like some of the end game bonus card. What was yours again? Oh, you needed
My
descending or ascending order, right?
consecutive birds in the treetops with ascending or descending wingspans.
I don't remember. Oh, yours was mechanical engineer, sets of the 4 nest types, and mine was columns with a matching pair of or trio of nests. So and so I felt like those were a little bit more difficult.
That one definitely.
This one was hard.
These weren't. Well,
Yeah.
one of just creating sets.
Yeah.
So I mean, didn't have to focus too much on that. And one was a particular type of nest.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, this one was almost out the window. That's why I picked the bird that let me draw another one at the end of the game, because I was hoping to just get one. Because I'm just like, ugh, like maybe because I got like 1 point with this, but I also didn't really try too hard. So yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, if you are not tired of Wingspan, I think we mentioned this for the Europe expansion too. You don't have to run out and grab this.
Right.
This isn't like oh wow, it changed the game so much. But
Right.
I will say, because you can play with this stuff without actually like utilizing the Oceania birds.
Yeah.
I very much enjoyed the like. I'd probably just always play with this board, with the nectar, because like it also came with some different abilities that let you.
Does the nectar imprinted on the board change anything from the base? I don't remember.
No, but what did come with it were the 2 abilities in the wetlands and the forest that let you spend a resource to refresh the stack, spend a resource to refresh that.
Instead of a different resource,
I
you
like-
can spend a nectar.
Like
Like down here, it's either an egg or a nectar.
oh yeah,
So in the
normally
base game, it's just an egg.
It's just an egg.
Okay, then that's nice. Yeah, you
but
can.
but yeah, the mitigation of like, man, there's no cards out here. I don't want to draw wild, so I guess I'll play this. Spend a food to redo the food in the tray or the birds that are available. So this gives you some more mitigation, and as well that I just thought the nectar was a nice touch. So I'd probably always just play with these boards, and like if you don't want to deal with the nectar, you just don't worry about it. Yeah, this game continues to be fantastic. I'm excited to see just all the birds.
Quick question crosses my mind. I hadn't thought about this before. Do you think that this would mix in well with the base game, or is it really, because of these mechanics, is it really its own separate subgame?
They are built. The expansions are designed for all the birds to be mixed together.
Well, but I'm wondering if that would make the use of the nectar much less valuable, because those birds wouldn't come up as often.
I would say it'd make it more valuable because
More scarce?
It's more scarce. So
Okay.
you having extra wilds that some might not have would actually make it better.
Gotcha.
But as we also saw, a lot of these birds didn't deal with fish or things like that. Yeah. So
Yes, they don't.
there's really not a whole lot. But a lot of them deal with nectar, and what you do to mitigate that is you just still use those dice. Because at the end of the day, you can grab one with nectar, have it, and you don't have to spend it on an Oceania bird. It could be
True.
on, and it's like, oh great. But
Yeah, no, I mean, I get it. I was just
Right.
thinking, because ours was really focused because we were only playing the Oceanic deck.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
if we mixed it in with all, is that going to water down the value of them?
Right.
So
I mean,
much that it doesn't
yes,
matter.
but
I don't think so.
I think it would. It might feel that way anyway, just because at this point there's,
Yeah.
that many birds. You would never get through them all anyway. But it does say actually on the front, Each deck is, so if you own multiple Wingspan expansions, you have a lot of bird cards. Each deck is balanced to work with the bonus cards from the base game and to provide relatively even numbers of birds from each habitat and with each nest type. You may play with all expansions mixed in or mix and match any combination of 2 decks. Use the icons on the bottom right to separate them.
Right.
So it is designed to just, hey, here's all the birds that we're trying to get in our habitat. And that's what I love, because I never felt it was watered down with the Europe expansion. It always just felt balanced. And that's the crux of the game, I think, is figuring out the best strategy of the birds that happen to be coming out. Because you do have ultimate control over what your starting endgame bonus cards, and these aren't really maximum points. You're not pulling a card that's like, aha, 70 points! Like some games with endgame bonuses.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that. I love how you don't have to be like, oh, okay, well, we have to play with the Oceania this time. You just put it all together. Here's all the birds in the world right now. Get them into your habitat. Read horrific descriptions of what birds actually do.
They're nice descriptions.
Except when
you're making them up.
It's easily my favorite part, like
Yeah.
a little tidbit,
Yes.
little blurb on them.
Yeah.
And I just want to know, I truly won because I had the masked lapwing.
Of course you did.
That was the ultimate goal.
Plus, I accidentally cheated. And I admit that, and I apologize.
No, this bird is easily the best. Ah! It's the funniest face. And cat's birds are all ugly and
and this is
horrific.
This is not true.
It's the Jimmy Durante bird, right?
I don't know who that is.
Youngsters.
Yeah,
Anyway,
but I mean that's pretty much it. It's, if you want more of Wingspan, you love Wingspan, definitely it's a must-have. If you are on the fence, or you're like, oh, I'm good with the base game, that is also equally valid too, because there's a lot of birds, a lot of strategies there.
yeah.
So, on a scale,
Worthwhile, certainly.
oh yeah, yes, it's not like, oh no, you don't need this. Yeah, it's great. And the fact that I was worried that they were just going to be like, oh hey, here's decks of birds, but no, they actually did add more to it with the nectar and the different boards with a little bit more mitigation. So it does add more than
Gives a
the
little
Europe
more
expansion.
flavor.
Yeah. So I guess on a scale of 1 to 10, Kat?
No, as far as expansions go, I'm gonna give it a dang old 9.
9?
Because I mean, yeah. It didn't add anything that you're like, oh great, we have to learn a whole new game. It's gonna complicate things, but it just added just enough.
Right.
The birds are as always really interesting, really scary, really cute. I liked the nectar. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. I think that this is a solid expansion. Wingspan is a 9, overall game anyway, and it doesn't lower it.
Beautiful as always, yeah.
Yeah, the production quality the art, the blurbs, it's just the little historical tidbit. I guess not historical, but the thing of like, oh hey, it mentions nectar and it gives you that actual scientific fact about what nectar is for this region. I love it. I love the science behind this game and the love that Elizabeth Hargrave has put into it. So yeah, I mean it's definitely and the fact that it does add more and you can just shuffle it in. You don't have to worry about game imbalance or oh well, if we're putting this in, we have to take all these cards out.
Yeah.
It's just you can easily just play with all expansions, and it doesn't extend the game any longer either.
True.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Because some expansions if you've played with all these, it's now an extra 2 hours. So yeah, I'm right there with you. It's 9 out of 10.
I'm gonna agree. As an expansion,
Cool.
9.
Yeah,
Right.
awesome. What's your thoughts on original Wingspan?
Now that I played it a few times, first time I played it, it was overwhelming, and I can't keep track of all this stuff. I can't keep track of you guys, which of course is what I prefer to do, is rate ourselves as we're going and see how well we're doing. I can't do all of that yet, but definitely better.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say at least 8.
Okay.
And that's my own skewed perspective.
Sure. Sure. I mean, that's still a really good score.
Still more complex than I enjoy my games to be, but I'm certainly getting a handle on it.
Cool.
So definitely an 8 for the base.
Awesome. All right, so that's our thoughts on the Oceania expansion. Let us know what you think of it in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.